Hello guys, this is Sammy from HackerBad.net, and today we're going to be tackling the legend of the USB stick hack for consoles. Does it exist? Doesn't it exist? Why doesn't it exist? Well, I kind of spoiled it right there. To be honest, it doesn't really exist. That's just not how hacks and consoles work. There isn't a hack that you can just put on a USB stick, plug the USB stick into your console, and just have a hack. I mean, I would like it. I would love it if that were the case because that would be super simple. But then, if it was that simple, wouldn't everyone be doing it? Those are all really good questions, says I to myself. And yeah, we're gonna have a look at it. So, well, hacks, they are mostly used on computers, and the main reason for that is that they are easiest used on computers because computers offer you incredible possibilities when it comes to running code. A console, on the other hand, herb is really restricted in that regard. In that every piece of code that you're running on a console has to be signed, or rather approved, by the issuer of the console. So, for example, Microsoft or the PlayStation Sony network. You're asking them basically. I'm just simplifying here, obviously. You're asking them, do you approve of this piece of code that I'm trying to run on my console? And they're either going to say, yes, you're free to run this, or no. Okay, and they're doing this through encrypted keys, and getting those keys is really hard. It has been done for some consoles, mostly for older ones. I think the Xbox 360 they might have cracked the code, the encrypted code, and for I'm not actually sure. PlayStation, this the last one, 3. I'm not even sure that they got that one. I don't think they got the PlayStation 3, but essentially it's really hard, and even if you had those codes, those encrypted keys, it's still really hard. To just demonstrate this, I'm going to show you a little tutorial from some guys trying to hack the Xbox 360, which I think at this point is hackable. It's also called homebrew because basically what this kind of hack allows you to do is to run homebrew or code that you have coded yourself on your console. So it all looks pretty simple. All you have to do is have a look at what firmware you're using and so on. But then it gets complicated because here's the problem about console hacks, or bots for that matter. You need to actually get down to, the hardware and change things there. So you gotta actually have a look at the motherboard, and you have to change some stuff. I mean, I'm kind of a PC geek, but I have no apps. I have absolutely no idea what exactly this stuff is. I mean, I'm not like an engineer of any kind. So you really have to implement some changes at the hardware level, and then on the software level, I assume you need to install some kind of modded firmware, and that after all that work that you've done and all the potential baddies, the mistakes that could probably render your rather console unusable, at that point you're actually able to run unsigned code. But where do you get that code from? Because obviously not a lot of people are homebrewing their consoles, and homebrewing often is only possible many years after the console is actually released. And since not many people are doing this, there isn't a lot of actual cheat codes or hacks for these consoles. What I'm trying to say is it's really, really hard to hack your console, basically, okay? You really need to open up the box. You need to have some really experienced crackers, I assume, that first get the software or mod the firmware in such a way that you're able to run unsigned code or sign the code yourself, and then you have to implement hardware changes by actually implementing stuff. I don't even know. And you have to run the command console through your computer, so you probably even need a computer to even do this. And here is the encryption key, and yeah. So basically, I cheat a lot, okay? I know my way around computers, even a little bit of Linux and so on. I code some minor programs, but I have absolutely no idea what these people are doing right here. I could not do that. I'm very much convinced, okay, maybe I could do it, but it would take weeks for me to, and I would probably burn through a few consoles. I would probably destroy some consoles before I'm even able to do any of this, okay? And the tutorial is really, really long. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's really an endeavor that if you're not some kind of engineer or you have experience with modding hardware, PC hardware and software, you're probably not going to succeed in hacking your console. And the very last thing that is possible, or the most impossible thing that there is that you could hack your console by simply plugging in a USB stick, because by default your console is never going to run any code that is even remotely not what exactly the publishers or the console creators want you to run on your console. Basically, if it's not a game that they approve that is on their store, they're not going to sign the code, okay? Therefore, you're unable to run it. And the only way to get around it is by, doing the stuff that I just showed you. So, better get your 25-pin D-sub connectors and your 330, sorry, I'm from Switzerland, ohm resistors and your 1N4148 switching diodes, things. I mean, if you're into that, if you like that, if you know how to mod hardware, go for it. But it's a really old console, and for the new consoles, it's absolutely not possible yet, as far as I know. And I have actually done a lot of research on this. It's simply not possible, okay? And by the way, anyways, you need a computer to even get this stuff running, so why not just play the games on your computer where it is so much easier to hack? I mean, and you could even use bots and everything, and people are actually developing this stuff because everyone can use it on PC, so yeah, I'm very sorry, I wish I could be here telling you guys it's really easy, that you can just, plug in a USB stick into your PS4, your Xbox One, or whatever, into your Wii, or whatever kind of consoles there is nowadays, what the cool kids play on. It's simply impossible. I'm very, very sorry. I wish it was that easy, but it isn't. It is almost that easy on PC, just if you're wondering, but sadly not on a console, because while you gain a lot of, you save time if you're using a console. Console is easy. All you basically do is you start it up and you play a game. It's very easy. However, that simplicity has a downside, and the downside is you don't get to customize, okay? You don't get freedom. You don't get freedom to run any program that you want. You only get to run the programs that Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo approve of, okay? That they designed their console to run, that they approved to run on their consoles. And that is what makes using hacks on consoles incredibly, and let me repeat that, incredibly hard to almost impossible. And that's why hacked lobbies and so on are incredibly rare, and often you have to pay to use them because there's simply so few people that actually know or are able to hack their consoles in order to set these hacked lobbies up. Alright, so that's basically how hacking on console is. It's sad that actually it's also good because it does protect a little bit of the competitive aspect in console gaming. Well, is there really that much competition? I don't know. But my case in point being, it's really hard to get hacks working on consoles, alright? For the reasons that I mentioned. And if you really want to get into it, you can try. You can try. But it's so much easier to just pick up a PC and just hack on your PC. Alright. Well, I hope you guys have learned something. I'm sad that I had to be the bringer of bad news today. But for some of you that like to, you know, homebrew your own stuff and like them 330 ohm resistors, that might be good news. If you liked this video and if you'd like to have some more of them, or of, you know, the kind that is technologically hacks and games and stuff and thingies, then please like and subscribe, and I'm a huge sellout, and thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.